Have you ever noticed those small, quiet rituals that people have? A routine so consistent, you could set your watch to it. On Maple Street, at the very end, there was one just like that. Every single evening, at exactly 7 p.m., a single light would turn on in the window of the last house. The man who lived there, Mr. Elias Carter, was a mystery to the neighborhood. He was an old man with silver hair and slow, deliberate steps. His eyes seemed to hold a lifetime of stories, but he rarely shared them. He kept to himself, didn't join in on town events, and his mailbox was often full. But that light, his light, was a constant, a beacon in the quiet dusk. The neighbors had their theories. Some whispered he was lonely, a solitary figure in a big, empty house. Others believed he was waiting, holding on to a hope for someone who would never return. A few just shrugged it off as an old man's habit, a simple routine without any deeper meaning. But the truth, asitoftan, this was far more beautiful and far more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. Across the street lived a young girl named Lily. She had a kind heart and a curious spirit, always observing the world with wide, wondering eyes. One rainy evening, as she sat by her window watching the raindrops race down the glass, she saw it again, that soft, steady glow from Mr. Carter's house. She turned to her mother, her voice small. "Mom?" she asked. "Why does that man always turn his light on at the same time?" Her mother looked over, a sad smile touching her lips. "I don't know, sweetheart. I really don't." But that simple answer didn't satisfy Lily. Something tugged at her heart, a feeling that she needed to understand. The next afternoon, she gathered all her courage, walked across the street, and stood before the old wooden door. She raised her small hand and knocked. It took a moment, but then, with a slow creak, the door opened. Mr. Carter stood there, his expression one of surprise. "Yes?" he asked, his voice gentle. "I'm Lily," she said, her voice a little shy. "I live across the street. I just wanted to know why you turn your light on every night." The old man's tired eyes seemed to soften. He paused, looking at the small girl on his doorstep. Then he opened the door wider. "Come in," he said softly. The house inside was simple, clean, and filled with a profound silence. As Lily stepped in, her eyes were drawn to a wall covered in framed photographs. A beautiful young woman with a radiant smile. A little boy caught mid-laugh. A happy family, frozen in a moment of pure joy. Mr. Carter moved slowly to a chair and sat down. Lily waited. "That light," he began, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's for my son." Lily leaned in, listening with all her might. "He used to come home from work every night, right at 7 o'clock. No matter what, rain or shine, he'd be here." The room fell silent, the weight of the unspoken hanging in the air. One evening, Mr. Carter continued, his voice trembling slightly. "He didn't come home." He took a shaky breath. "He passed away years ago now. But I still turn the light on. I turn it on so that, if somehow he finds his way back, he won't feel lost in the dark." Tears welled up in Lily's eyes. It wasn't just a habit. It was an act of unwavering love, a father's promise to his son. That night, when Lily went back to her room, she looked across at Mr. Carter's glowing window. And then she did something small, but powerful. She reached over and turned on her own bedroom light. And the next night, she did it again. Soon, a neighbor noticed the two lights and, without a word, turned on theirs as well. Then another, and another. Within a few weeks, something magical happened on Maple Street. Every evening at 7 p.m., the entire street would begin to glow, one window at a time. It wasn't a light of sadness anymore. It was a light of love, of memory, and of shared hope. And every evening, when Mr. Elias Carter looked out his window, he no longer saw just one light staring back at the darkness. He saw a whole street, a whole community, shining with him. He was no longer alone, because sometimes all it takes is a single light, a single act of kindness, to remind someone that they are still seen and that they are not forgotten. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the beauty and connection. Until next time.